nesting in your silver box. How you fit in there, I cannot fathom, but I know that you are there, watching me. Oh, he rises. He speaks. Might as well give you something to cast your eyes upon, to report to your masters. And while you are at it, could you please pass on my extreme displeasure with this new state of affairs? All these years I have served most duteously, most loyally, and I have done nothing to deserve this disrespect, this invasion, this intrusion on the quiet enjoyment of my private hours. Sun up to sundown I serve, and that makes for long, wearisome days in the summer, let me tell you. All these years since I was installed on this grand throne in what you call the Fitzroy Gardens, it has always been the understanding that nighttime is my time to do as I please. And I make the most of my leisure time. How? It is no concern of yours. Must have cost a weight of gold, that dazzling flare, your spy box. Well, surely that princely sum could have been more diligently invested. How? Well, it was once upon a time that I was visited every solstice, or thereabouts, by an army of servants wielding ladders, soap, wire-bristled brushes. Ooh, it hurt more than a little, I admit. Even tickled sometimes when they turned their attention to the backs of my elbows and knees. Oh, but I scrubbed up mighty fine, if I do say so myself. I think you'll find that under this half-inch of pigeon poop, I'm actually a beautiful shade of silver grey. Oh, much time has passed since those de-pooping serfs have deigned to tend my park. All these years I have waited, hopeful and patient. But it has become clear to me that the powers that be have warped priorities, sinking scarce public resources into spying contraptions. Ooh, and lights that conjure night into day! It's the boy's fault. All this superfluous surveillance. That pesky bronze kid down by the lake. Boy with urn, they called him. An undignified name. Huh. Little pipsqueak barely came up to my kneecaps, and yet had the ego of a king, grew weary of tourists pinching his cherub cheeks and demanding he smile while they snapped and stole his image. And one night, without a peep of warning, he up and left. So there you have it. The little rascal was not kidnapped. He absconded, freely and of his own will. No sense of civic duty, these young ones. Oh, I suspect he headed up Sydney way. He often boasted of a cousin up there, a girl decorating a headland enjoying magnificent harbour views. I can't blame the boy, really. All we can glimpse from these gardens above the treetops is the tips of those monstrous glass and steel plates. Ugly things growing like weeds. An insult to the heavens! I suppose I should be flattered with your concern for my safety. All those signs you erected around the garden, appealing for the boy's immediate return, claiming he was worth 50,000 of your paper dollars. A snotty little whippet like him. That must make me priceless. But priceless or not, I have no need of your protection, I assure you. Do you have any inkling how much I weigh? No mere mortal could lift me, and I would put up a fight. These hands, these godly hands, would choke the life out of any thieving scoundrel. No, if I leave this patch of turf, it'll be freely and voluntarily, just like the boy. I must admit, admit, when the little whippersnapper did a runner, I did give serious consideration to following suit. But where would I go? A boy can blend in with the comings and the goings of the crowd, but look at me, no blending in for 2 tons of concrete. And if my bare behind was spotted on Boek Street, without doubt, the constabulary would be summoned directly. A boy can get away with a bit of cheek, but not a man, not even a god. But in truth, I could never leave this place, for it has flowed in my veins and breathed life into my lungs since the beginning of time. Oh, it has changed mightily since then, and not for the better, but it is still my home. Let me entrust you to a little snippet of history that somehow got lost in the pages of time and erased from mortal memory. See that sign at the foot of my fountain? Its silver letters are not easy to decipher, obscured as they are by disrespectful splotches of pigeon poop. However, if you look closely, you will see that it pronounces me River God. River God! Oh, I'm a god, all right? Yeah. That there's no denying. You will have noticed the way the trees bow to me, and the water prostrates itself at my feet. And you will have observed the way the wind dares not blow too close to me, not even the gentlest of breezes. And you will surely have noticed that the creatures of the earth, the butterflies, the beetles, and the birds, and so on and so forth, showing their deference to me by not crossing the threshold of my fountain. Except for the pigeons, of course. They have always had anarchistic tendencies. If it were in my power, I would order them all shot. Nothing more than fine rats are they. I digress. I wanted to make it clear that I am a god, as deserving of the title as Zeus himself, but I cannot claim to have been born a river god. No, I've grown into the title and made it my own. There was never a river here, just a creek. Barely more in the summer than a single strand of water slithering over pebbles. Oh, it was a beautiful creek, I grant you, home to tadpoles, eels, and yabbies. Even the occasional platypus. Its banks a luscious tangle of reeds and lilies and spidery roots of river red gums. Oh, it was a wondrous creek, but it existed without pretension, never plumped itself up, demanding to be revered as a river. And for many happy centuries I served duteously as god to that creek, always paying great pains to be deferential to the great watercourse snaking down beyond your rambunctious sporting temple, protector to that ribbon of water and its abundant flora and fauna. Oh yes, my origins are humble indeed. Not a river god at all, but a mere creek god. Alas, soon after the foundation of this city on this ancient land, my creek was banished. They said this was no place for such a befouled trickle in a prosperous metropolis. They called my creek unfashionable, an embarrassment to modernity. And so they concreted it over, reducing it to nothing more than a befouled drain. And in an attempt to appease me, they elevated me to the position of river god and built this fountain. Ha! A mere creek god would have been out of place atop such a splendid fountain. And yet, a fountain, even one as grand as this, is no replacement for a creek. My creek. And though a century has passed, I mourn that loss every hour of every day. And even though my creek flows beneath the earth now through a concrete pipe, oh, I could never leave this land. You can take the creek from the God, but you cannot take the God from the creek. No. I could never leave this place. If I did, my blood would surely run as dry as my creek in a year of the harshest droughts. I could never leave. Not even for a harbour view. I owe it to my creek to continue to honour its memory. Well, you've heard my story now. Know my unassuming origins. Understand that I am at no risk of absconding, and that consequently I am in no need of your guiding. So I pray you leave me to my peace. Even gods need time to do as they please, and nighttime, that is my time. What do I do then, you might ask? How do I spend the wee hours of darkness? Oh, I am guessing that my antics would not meet with your approval, not that it is any of your business. I have served you most duteously during the daylight hours. You cannot steal my nights too. So, enough of your snooping, I say. I order thee, be gone.